Hey everybody. So I was reading the book of Exodus today and I came to the part where God is asking Moses to go back to Egypt to set his people free. And Moses is a little surprised by this request, a little taken aback, and begins to make excuses or explain why he's probably not the best person for the job. He even has a moment where some doubts, worries, and maybe even fear begins to creep in, and he asks God, well, what do I do if they don't accept the message? What do I do if Pharaoh says no and won't let your people free? And God asks him a question. He says, what's in your hand? And in Moses' hand at that time was a staff. And God says, well, throw it down. And the staff becomes a snake. And essentially what God is saying is, I'm going to go with you, that you need to step out in faith and trust that I will work through you and bring miracles, and I will make sure that my people will be freed. And as I was reading this, I was thinking, how many times has God and I had a conversation similar to this? Now, maybe I haven't thrown a staff down and had it turn into a snake, but similar situations where I felt led by the Lord to do something, to step out and serve Him, or step out in faith, or I needed to pray for miracles, but then I doubt or I worry whether or not it's going to happen. And then God, through amazing ways, takes simple things or regular people like you or I to perform great miracles. That God uses ordinary people and ordinary things to do extraordinary miracles. That He can create small miracles and big miracles with something as simple as what we have, what's in our hands. So often when we think of, serving the Lord or miracles, we're expecting these huge, amazing things, or we look at other people who we feel are better equipped than us. And we're always thinking of what it is we need. If only we had this, or if only we had that, or what we wish we could get done. Instead, we see stories like this one where God uses ordinary things like a staff in Moses' hands to perform extraordinary miracles and bring about His will. Let's think about this. Moses throws the staff down and it turns into a snake, and he does the same thing in front of Pharaoh. He also uses that staff to part the Red Sea. He uses it, he hits it against a rock, and water comes out. That God uses this staff to perform miracles, all with something that was in Moses' hand. To Moses it was just a staff, but to God it was an instrument for Him to perform His miracles. God works with us, ordinary us, and through ordinary means to do extraordinary things. And I want to challenge you, and I want to challenge myself to look at what it is that we currently have, or where we currently are, and ask God, how do I use this, where I am, what I have, to honor and serve you, to grow in faith and help others to do the same. You see, when we see little, we think we don't have a lot, or that we're not going to amount to much, or when we speak little of what we have or who we are, or any other means like that, then we're going to dream little and we're going to do little. God has blessed each and every one of us with so many things. They may not be exactly what we feel we need or want, but God can use ordinary people and ordinary things to do extraordinary miracles. So what do you have in your hand? What has God blessed you with? What has God given you that you can use to honor and glorify Him, that you can use to share His love? Every one of us, everybody has something that God can use. And maybe we'll spend the next few weeks with these kind of devotional midweek thoughts, looking at a few of these examples in the Bible. But I want to leave you with these words, and there was some I found from Tim Tebow, at his Instagram, that says that God wants to use you where you are with what you have, not just in the future when you get to where you think you need or want to go, but now. So do not wait until later, until you feel equipped to serve or to live a life that counts. It was just a staff, and God performed amazing things through it. 2 Peter 1:3 says, because of his power, he has given us everything necessary for life and righteousness.